And that's a wrap, you guys. Today officially marked the end of the 21-22 Premier League season, with the title ultimately falling to Man City in the end, courtesy of Steven Gerrard's involvement. Now, Aston Villa being 2-0 up for, decent portions of this game to literally just lose the entire thing in the space of 10 minutes. I tweeted this earlier, but I just can't help but feel like Gerrard was not destined to help Liverpool win any titles in this universe. I'm sorry. Maybe it's because I literally just watched this film, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I recommend you guys watch that film. Sensational, amazing. And it just got me just thinking about like my place in the universe and possibilities and life and everything. And I just left that cinema thinking, I can't be the shittest version of Nini out there in the universe. I'm sorry, that'd just be too embarrassing to live that reality. That can't be the case, and I can't help but feel like Steven Gerrard, unfortunately, is just the universe is just not favouring him. This universe he's in currently ain't favouring him whatsoever, and ultimately, I've not seen a guy play such a big part in costing the club that he loves. It's mad. But now we know that the season's over, you guys. Let's talk about our final game of the season, a 2-1 win against Watford, with us getting the winner right at the end, courtesy of Barkley. Now, of course, the setup comes completely from Reece James. Outside of the boot cross to find him, getting more goals and assists throughout the season has been absolutely unreal. And the fact that we have him for next season as well, and hopefully for the foreseeable future. I mean, wow, we literally have a legend in the making at this club, and I'm saying it straight. I've been saying it for many seasons. He's the best ever right back I've seen in terms of how he playing for us. And I know that Mount won Player of the Season this year, which I think was deserved. But ultimately, I would even maybe push for Reece James to have deserved it, because if you just ignore the injuries he faced this season, if you focus solely on the output of performance he's putting on a weekly basis, I mean, this guy doesn't put in 5 out of 10s or 6 out of 10s. I don't think I've ever seen a game from Reece James that is below like a 7 out of 10. And when he can play to that level that consistently, that no matter what opposition you're playing against, this is when you're seeing like one of the very best players. And there'll be a time, you guys, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, when all these guys are retired and we'll look back with full memories like, wow, how incredible were these guys. We'll be literally, struggling so hard to think about some of the individual brilliance and moments that they brought to us. And right now that we're witnessing these guys in the present, we have to appreciate them for what they're doing right now, because these are the guys that give you, that history. These are the players that give you those moments as a fan that makes you love the game, love the club. And yeah, I think Reece James outstanding, and should feel very unlucky that injury stopped him winning Player of the Season, because I'm looking at everyone else in terms of consistency, and I don't think anyone's been more consistent than Reece James. But regardless, in the end, it took a last-minute winner because we conceded nearly a last-minute goal against Watford for the equaliser, which would have been very disappointing, but which should have absolutely summed up our home form this season. And after seeing City and Liverpool clashing throughout the season, seeing just how 1 point separated Liverpool from winning the title, and when you consider how far behind we are from the top two compared to our rivals looking to, get Champions League European places, we are nowhere near these two clubs. And when you look to break down the details as to why this is the case, it's obvious that the home form was the most important thing this season that caused us doing anything in the league. And when your away form far exceeds your home form, then something is definitely happening. And I think it's just quite obvious, man. We can't do nothing against teams that want to sit back and defend a bit more. And that is the main thing. Of course, there's all little details around this issue that, of course, add up as well. But my main thing is that we just can't get goals against these smaller teams that we should be getting goals against. I mean, look how City came back against Aston Villa from 2-0 down to win that game. If we're in that position, can we do that? No, we can't. Look at Liverpool as well, losing against Wolves and then come back to win that game in good fashion. Now, it's been these types of games exactly where when it doesn't work in our favour, it can be hard for us to come back. Today, we're lucky that we're playing against a Watford team that's already been relegated, that's already been down, because they didn't play with that same type of will for anything, to be honest. But you know, I do have to say that, you know, regardless, yeah, I'm just expecting a bit more goals and a bit more attacking football. And I'm hoping next season, you know, Todd Bowley, thank God at least he gets to see this team win a game, as he's close to buying us currently. But I'm hoping he's looking at that team, he's thinking, okay, I'm looking at Liverpool, I'm looking at City, I'm looking at us. I know exactly what needs to happen. I know exactly what areas we have to focus on to improve this team. Because, yo, man, to be this far behind the 2 title chasers again this season, I mean, it's not too hopeful, it's not too promising, I'm sorry, especially considering that this game was like the farewell game for senior players. Farewell to Antonio Rudiger. Wow. I personally never thought this guy would come back to even get anywhere near close to being a world-class player. When I was first watching him, I thought it was good, but he had too many components in this game that was working against him, and that cost us at times. But this guy came through, worked in this game, elevated himself, and he's one of the best defenders in the world. I think that's outstanding, to be honest. And of course, it was sad to see him get subbed off for Sarr. I would have been happy for Rudiger to stay on right to the ends, especially as a surprise, you know, the goal we concede is of course due to Sarr being out of position, as he's always been throughout this entire season. Personally, I would be happy to see Rudiger take one more long shot just before he left, but of course, you know, he leaves with his head held high. We all saw his video just congratulating the fans and bidding his farewell, and of course wish him luck for the future, to be honest. But you know, Tuchel used this game as an opportunity to give minutes to many players outside the squad that haven't really ever been played. Kennedy played today. I got to say, Kennedy looked threatening, but you know, it's interesting that he was never called or used upon throughout this entire season. You know, there was times when, like Alonso, could have done with a bit of a rest, and the fact that Tuchel can't rely upon your Kennedys, your Sauls, your Sars, a lot of these players that play today, you can't challenge for a title when your squad's not patterned like this. I'm sorry, you know, do City or Liverpool have players like this in their squads? That, you know, guys you can't rely upon, that you have to use because you've been forced to. No, they don't. They have options there. So this is where Bowley can really help Tuchel out now, get him that squad for next season. But at the same time, yeah, that's a 2-2 thing. Tuchel, I'm sorry, man. Please, 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 please. Whatever plans you have for a back 3 next season, just kill them. Just stop them, man. Come on. We don't get enough goals. There's not enough threat. You know, we're relying on like younger players under 24, under 23 to be, you know, scoring match-winning goals, you know, like converting chances, like 1 out of 2 chances to win games for us. It's not gonna happen. Like, you need to create a lot more. I always say this, if you guys, I know some of you guys watch a lot of football. If you watch your Liverpools and Man Cities, they miss the same chances we miss, but they make 10 times more. We need to fix this. We can't repeat this home form for next season. That can't happen, and it's quite clear that there needs to be some redrawing works done now to take advantage of this opportunity Tuchel has to really just build a team in his image, where managers would dream to be in this position right now, so all eyes are going to be on him. I just personally think back 3, we use that in the big games next season because it's sick and it works for us, but we don't use that in the games where we're the favourites to win them, because it kind of works against us. I just feel like if we can just have the best of both worlds next season, we will have a real title challenge. But the manager has to play his part as well too, because yeah, I'm sorry, man, again today was a bit of a very mid performance, and it's literally the identical end of season form to last year where everything dips and it wasn't sustainable. Let's hope now, with new players coming in, opportunities being given, and for God's sake, a new system that just relies more upon attacking players being the key guys to win us the games, instead of our defenders being important to help us not lose them. We need this, man, I beg, because I can't see more crap games like this where you're expecting a lot more against a team that's already been relegated and you're not seeing it. Of course, I'll talk about the goals very quickly. It's only fair. Kai Havertz scored a goal again today, which is nice to see. He got on the ends of a cross, converting that inside the box. And at the end as well too, Barkley did the same thing as well. But other than that, there wasn't many clear-cut opportunities. I know Mount had a few efforts outside the box. I know Kai hit the post as well too. I know Ziyech was trying to cut inside to take shots. I thought Ziyech looked quite dangerous throughout the game today. I know Kennedy as well was trying to do his thing in the final thirds. But when you look at the quality of the chance being produced, it's not a very high goal-scoring opportunity, is it? Let's keep things real. It's not. When I'm seeing our rivals ahead of us doing better, it just tells us that whatever way we think we've found that it's like the complete way of playing it, it really isn't. And we can do more to improve. And the reason why I feel optimistic is because Tuchel has never ever really been like a back three guy. His jobs at Paris Saint-Germain and Dortmund, you know, he builds systems based on the players he has. So this is why when you are able to rebuild the team in your image now with so many players leaving, if you revert back to type, I don't know if I'm going to be that happy. I'm going to keep things brutally honest here. But let's see what happens now the season's over. Of course, you know, it's not a complete disaster. We're not winning the trophies I think we all expected to win. The Super Cup, which took us, you know, a penalty shootout to beat Villarreal, as well as winning the Club World Cup. Thank God getting a penalty near the end before going to another shootout. So it's not been too disappointing. But I kind of feel like these trophies we won this season just kind of represents the plateau we're at. You know, we are the third best team in the country. We've got the third best results in the country. We've had the third best performances in the country. And we want to get to second and to first. You know, you're seeing that point gap difference between us. You know, the goal gap difference between us. The difference in everything. It just feels like there has to be grander ambitions now going into the summer. And let's hope that happens, you guys, because now is a real opportunity to make shit happen at this club. I'm being serious, because I can see Liverpool and Man City doing this for a very goddamn long time. But regardless, I'll talk a bit about some of the players that played today. Like I said, for me, I saw this lineup that started. It kind of felt like the Thurbo 11. I saw Kennedy getting minutes out from nowhere. Would I prefer to have seen a Lewis Hall or maybe other youngers getting minutes? I mean, of course I would. You guys already know the answer to that. I just think that in the long term, my manager's going to be here for many seasons and years. I need to see that there's some long-term foresight going into this preparation. Yeah, I guess it's nice some of these senior guys got farewells, but these are senior players that a lot of us aren't going to remember in the next year or two. And we still own these youngers that will still probably be here in the following seasons. And it's not just that, it's the message you're sending out from their involvement. Because, you know, we're at a time now where a lot of our good talents are getting poached by other clubs, and a lot of clubs are trying to copy what we're doing with their academy now. So success ain't set in stone forever. You know, other teams compete and come back. And we're at this crossroad now where it's like, okay, are we going to push on, do the right things to be the very best club, which I think we can do now, thank God to Mr. Todd Boehly? Are we going to keep reverting back to type and forever just having successes every now and then, but ultimately just being like, you know, between like 5th to 3rd best club in the country? I like to think we can be more than that, to be honest. But let's see what happens. Of course, you guys, there's going to be more content coming out over the next few weeks, talking about the season, moments, etc., etc. So I can just give, you know, more insight, going more depth into, you know, how our season's progressed. But I guess ultimately, this game was always going to be overshadowed by the Man City Liverpool game. But I just guess in terms of like a final farewell, it was a bit of a mids game. I can't lie. There wasn't really much for me to get too excited about. I didn't even see no youth getting minutes. Just, you know, Tuchel. It's just, no, here's a reward for what you've done this season. You know, with Charlie Webster. Hey, you know, so I've not even used this guy when he's been fit, when I had no guys in my midfield. You're going to get minutes today because I think you can do something in the next few years compared to a guy that's not going to be here next week. You know what I'm saying? These are the things I would have liked to see, and I'm hoping maybe next season. I feel personally this will be the final chance I give Tuchel to really assess what he's fully about for the long term. Because I get a few vibes that, okay, short-term priorities will be focused on because he just wants to win. But I just feel like we can have managers that can do both, that should do more than just focusing on one thing at a time with the resources that we have at this club. So let's see what happens to you guys. But on that note, I'm going to wrap things up, keep things moving. Tell me how you found this game and how you found our season in general too. I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lions TV. I'll catch you guys there with some more videos. See you guys in a bit.